started. What?
20 minutes. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. So inshallah we'll go around 15-20 minutes inshallah. So we'll try cover some other regarding the different major signs of the Day of Judgment. So the major signs of the Day of Judgment with one hadith that we've mentioned is regarding the 3 earthquakes. So what are these 3 earthquakes? Again, the hadith mentions 3 earthquakes that on the there will be one which is on the eastern side of the world, one on the western side of the world, and one which is in the middle, which is the Jaziratul Arab, which is in the Arab peninsula. And these earthquakes, the hadith mentions this, and he mentions here regarding these are going to be devastating earthquakes, not normal earthquakes that maybe you see 7.5, 6.5 on the Richter scale. This is something off the scales. Most likely, it will only be mentioned as a major sign if it's going to be off the scales. If it's a normal one, then it happens every so often. A 7.5, a 6.5, however tragic this may be. But this is, it happens from time to time, these earthquakes. But if it's going to be a major sign of the Day of Judgment, and it's going to be 3 of them, then it's probably going to be something which is going to be huge and probably off the scale. So the destruction levels will be so much. Otherwise, why mention them as major signs of the Day of Judgment? The second question that comes about is, would it be a natural disaster or would it be something which is man-made? What do I mean by this? This is a question. It doesn't mention in hadith. It just mentioned here there's going to be zilzal. So it's going to talking about regarding earthquakes. So whether it's from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, meaning it's natural disaster, or is it something which is going to be man-made, meaning some sort of machine, some sort of a bomb, some sort of something like this, and it's going to cause 3 devastating earthquakes around the world. Allah alam, Allah knows best. But this is something which is has been mentioned as the 3. So this is 3 separate major signs of the Day of Judgment, according to the hadith we mentioned right at the beginning. But these were the 3 separate signs. So this is almost like 5, 6, and 7 or something like this. So I don't know the numbers. But these are the amounts that will be mentioned. So these are going to be 3 major, huge earthquakes, which is going to be shaking the whole earth. The next on my list on the major signs of the Day of Judgment, which we're going to cover, is regarding the dukhan. The dukhan is the smoke. What is this smoke? The Quranic ayat mentions in Surah Dukhan, in this surah it mentions regarding فَرَتَقِبْ يَوْمَ تَأْتِ السَّمَاءُ بِدُخَانٍ مُبِينٍ يَخْشَى النَّاسِ هَذَا عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ رَبَّنَا اكْشِفْ عَنَّا الْعَذَابَ أَنَّا مُؤْمِنُونَ أَنَّا لَهُمُ الذِّكْرُ, and so forth. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned this ayat. He says that فَرَتَقِبْ, meaning wait. يَوْمَ, on that day, تَأْتِ السَّمَاءَ بِدُخَانٍ مُبِينٍ, where the sama, the skies, he mentions here that it will be a clear, manifest smoke that will come. A clear, manifest smoke that will come from the sky and so forth. So what is this smoke? What is this dukhan? What is this obviously smoke? And we say smoke, some people have mentioned regarding it's a smoke and a fog and so forth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions regarding this, يَخْشَى النَّاسِ, it will envelop the whole of mankind. The whole of mankind will be completely enveloped regarding this smoke. So it could be, and remember this did happen at one point in the time of the Sahaba, and the Sahaba thought that this is the dukhan that's going to come. This is going to be the different, the smoke that's going to come, and this is going to be the smog, and then they thought this is going to be it. But most likely it will come at the ending of times. After all of the different aspects and the different sides of the Day of Judgment come, then another one will come which is regarding this dukhan. And there isn't too much information regarding this dukhan other than it will cover everyone and have this kind of effect on the people, and it will come at the end of times as well. This was another sign of the Day of Judgment. We're just finishing it off. It's only last few days, we're going to finish off inshallah. The rising of the sun from the west. So obviously, as we know, we have the sun as it rises. So the sun rises from which part of the land? Anyone know? South. Yeah, eastern side it rises, right? And then midday comes and it sets in the west. It sets in the west. So on the day, it will be mentioned regarding that the sun will go while it's setting, it will come back, and then it goes set again.
So it'll come back, they actually rise from the west. So just like at the end of the day, it becomes night, and then it becomes day again, it will become night again. So Allah mentions inside of the Quranic ayat, يَوْمَ يَأْتِي بَعْضُ آيَاتِ رَبِّكَ لَا يَنْفَعُ نَفْسًا إِيمَانُهَا لَمْ تَكُنْ آمَنَتْ مِنْ قَبْلِ أَوْ كَسَبَتْ فِي إِيمَانِهَا خَيْرًا. That some of your ayats of your Lord will come. Some of these ayats will come. So we're talking about the signs of the Day of Judgment. لا ينفع نفسا إيمانها, meaning the iman of a person will not benefit him. Meaning if he wants to bring iman, he cannot bring iman after this sign has come. So some of the signs will come. After the sign will come, there'll be no point in even accepting iman, meaning it's not being accepted at all. لم تكن آمنت من قبل, yani if they haven't accepted iman from before, أو كسبت في إيمانها خيرا. So Allah talks about regarding this ayat, talks about regarding these ayats of the Quran, and He mentions regarding that this is such a sign that's going to come. After this major sign, your iman won't be accepted. Nobody can become a Muslim from after this time. So this is now something of a major sign, and this major sign is going to be right till the ending as well. Imam Bukhari, Imam Muslim mentioned this hadith, and he mentions here that the Qiyamah will not occur until the sun rises from the west. And when the people see it, they will all believe. But then obviously this ayat this ayat was revealed, recited by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and everyone will believe that this is the time to come. But now it's going to be too late. Now it's going to be too late. And why is it? Just like the time of Fir'aun, when he was drowning, now it's too late to accept iman. Now all of the punishment has come. Al-an, now you want to go and say that you want to believe. Now you want to go and say that this is the time to go and say that I believe in Rabbi Musa wa Harun. Now, al-an. So now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions regarding in this theme. So as it goes along when the sun rises from the west, at that point as well, no more iman. That's khalas. That's your chance gone. You've seen enough signs already. You've gone through enough that to try and see or recognize Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as your Lord. Now it's too late. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions regarding another hadith mentioned that the first of the signs, the rising, this is mentioned Abu Dawood, the first of the signs, rising of the sun from the west and the right. After it, a time of duha will be the dabatul ard, meaning straight after the rising of the sun, after the next morning or so, or on that same day, at the time of duha. The time of duha is the middle of the morning. So just like everyone's going to work or so forth. Then the dabatul ard will come, meaning the beast from the earth will come. Whenever these signs come, the next will follow right after. So just like the sun is rising from the west, almost the next day, then you'll find the beast coming. So another one, day after another, or soon one after another, you'll find the signs of the major signs of the Day of Judgment happening one after another. Because we have mentioned regarding all of the minor signs, and I've mentioned miscellaneous minor signs of the Day of Judgment. And after these signs, then you have the major signs, and again it's going to be one after another, and after another, rattling its way towards the ending of times. And this will happen on the last day of creation. Allahu Alam, this could be happening on the last day. And he mentions here the Tawbah will be accepted before these signs, not after these signs. So these are the different aspects of the Day of Judgment. And I'll mention this last one before we finish, and then after this, inshallah, we have a recitation of the Quran. So just be aware of the recitation of the Quran. Inshallah, we'll have this straight after this program, inshallah. So I'll just mention on this last point and this last sign of the Day of Judgment, and then I'll continue tomorrow regarding the last few, inshallah. This is to do with the beast. This is Dabatul Ard. This is the beast. What is this beast? What is the explanation in the hadith regarding this beast? Surah Naml, ayat number 82, Allah mentions inside of the Quran, وَإِذَا وَقَعَ الْقَوْلُ عَلَيْهِمْ أَخْرَجْنَا لَهُمْ دَابَّةً مِّنَ الْأَرْضِ تُكَلِّمُهُمْ أَنَّ النَّاسَ كَانُوا بِآيَاتِنَا لَا يُوقِنُونَ. In this ayat, Allah mentions here, once the word has been said, once the word has been said, أَخْرَجْنَا لَهُمْ, bring out for them, for us, we bring out for them, دَابَّةً مِّنَ الْأَرْضِ, a beast from the earth, تُكَلِّمُهُمْ, they will speak to the people. كَانَ بِآيَاتٍ لَا يُوقِنُونَ. That's it. No more, as in, there's no more yaqeen after this. So Muslim mentions regarding this hadith that three of the things when they appear, there is no benefit in accepting iman unless he hasn't accepted from before. The number one on our list was the rising of the sun from the west. The number two he mentions is the Dajjal. And number three is the beast. Those are the three things That after, there's no point accepting Iman because that's it, it's too gone. There's enough signs which has been given to you, no more signs after this. Meaning for you to accept Iman. And this hadith mentions regarding this beast that will come from the earth. So there is a beast that will come from the earth and will speak to the people. This is mentioned in the Quran. I'll mention a hadith, and this hadith is a weak hadith. But I'll mention it regarding some descriptions. Tirmidhi mentioned this weak hadith, and he says that the beast will have the staff of Musa alayhi salam and the ring of Sulaiman alayhi salam. It is a weak hadith, but I said I'll mention this because some have mentioned it's quite mashhur, it's quite famous, that he'll have this and he'll have that. But it is a weaker hadith. In the Musnad of Imam Ahmad, also mentioned another weak hadith, but I'll mention some descriptions of this beast. The beast will make people will mark people with a certain symbol or a certain stamp, who is a Muslim and who is a kafir. This person is a Muslim, stamp them. This person is a kafir, stamp them. So this will happen on the time when the Dabatul Mil'ad will come out, and he will stamp the people and so forth. And this kind of mention of the beast and so forth is it has been mentioned in the previous books. So example, you have in the Bible, it has been mentioned regarding the beast of the water, the beast of the land. They mention slightly something different, but according to our traditions and according to our in the Quran, the Hadith, it mentions that it will come out from the earth. So once it will come out from the earth, what will it do? We have weak hadith mentioning that it will go and stamp people. We have other weak hadith which mention it's got the staff of Musa and the ring of Sulaiman and so forth. And again, Allah knows best what we will actually do, but the purpose of it is slightly unclear and ambiguous and so forth. So we want to try and have more explanation regarding this, but there's not much actual explanation what it will do. Some have mentioned that it will go for a certain amount of period, and then you'll start marking people, and then everyone will know who's right and who's wrong, who's the kafir, who's the Muslim, and so forth. And then we'll go on towards the Day of Judgment. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions indications towards all these different things, indications towards this part and that part, and this is with some detail, and one is without detail. Amongst them, we've mentioned regarding 9 different signs of the Day of Judgment. I'll leave the last one till the end, and then I'll mention regarding the trumpet and the surah. And if I have extra days, inshallah, I will try and mention some miscellaneous minor signs of the Day of Judgment. If I've missed any, because I didn't want to go focus on the minor sign, I want to focus on the major sign. If I've missed any of the minor signs, then just like a few days ago, talking about the red cows. So I thought that was relevant because of the ayat of the Quran of Surah Isra. So I might fit in, if inshallah we have time, we'll try to fit in some other miscellaneous minor signs of the Day of Judgment. So we've covered, alhamdulillah, a few of them. And some of the things that I mentioned was regarding how the Quran will be lifted up from this earth. The Quran will be lifted up from this earth, and then all the name of Allah will be lifted up from this earth. So it's important to realize that I said that how we can give etiquettes towards the Quran, etiquettes towards the dhikr of Allah and so forth. So alhamdulillah, we have today 2 young boys. So inshallah, what we'll be doing, inshallah, so they'll be reading some Quran for us. And again, this is just to show us, to try and give us some enthusiasm of reading the Quran. But not only that, this is the miracle of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protects His Quran. And the way that Allah protects His Quran, He uses sometimes people and sometimes children, elderly people, sometimes middle-aged people, sometimes young people. And memorizing the Quran is something which is of a miracle in itself. When you can memorize, you can try and memorize all the different books in the world. It doesn't really stick. When it comes to the Quran, there'll be so many, millions upon millions of Hufad al-Quran. So alhamdulillah, we have a few young boys here just want to read the Quran. So inshallah, before we go towards and break our fast, we'll be calling them up, inshallah. We'll call them up now to render us some Quran, inshallah. So just try and take heed from the Quran and try to make it such that now we're following a lot of etiquettes in listening to the Quran, inshallah. So inshallah, young one first, inshallah. What's your name?
Sufyan.
Sufyan, yeah? Okay, inshallah. Okay, make you sit down.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والشمس وضحاها والقمر إذا تلاها والنهار إذا جلاها والليل إذا يغشاها والسماء وما بناها والأرض وما طحاها ونفس وما سواها فألهمها فجورها وتقواها قد أفلح من زكاها وقد خاب من دساها كذب ثمود بتقواها إذا بعد أشقاها فقال لهم رسول الله ناقة الله وسقياها فكذبوه فعقروها فدمدم بذنبهم فسواها ولا يخاف عقباها.
MashaAllah, well done. So you guys, if takbir, you guys make some MashaAllah. At least everyone say MashaAllah, inshallah. Good, MashaAllah. So we have his brother as well, inshallah. So again, this is young boys, MashaAllah, reading the Quran, which is very important. And not only that, now when you find that people are reading the Quran, and especially at a young age, and reciting it correctly, and reciting it with a voice, reciting with tajweed. So alhamdulillah, this is a motivation for especially a lot of the elders who haven't maybe learned how to recite it. So this is also a motivation for us. For the young ones, also motivation to try and memorize the Quran, inshallah, and have that shauq and enthusiasm to write and recite it, inshallah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
سبحان الله
عما يتساءلون عن النبأ العظيم الذي هم فيه مختلفون كلا سيعلمون ثم كلا سيعلمون ألم نجعل الأرض مهادا والجبال أوتادا وخلقناكم أزواجا وجعلنا نومكم سباتا وجعلنا الليل لباسا وجعلنا النهار معاشا وبنينا فوقكم سبعا شدادا وجعلنا سراجا وهاجا وأنزلنا من المعصرات ماء ثجاجا لنخرج به حبا ونباتا وجنات ألفافا إن يوم الفصل كان ميقاتا يوم ينفخ في الصور فتأتون أفواجا وفتحت السماء فكانت أبوابا وسيرت الجبال فكانت سرابا إن جهنم كانت مرصادا للطاغين مآبا لابثين فيها أحقابا لا يذوقون فيها بردا ولا شرابا إلا حميما وغساقا جزاء وفاقا إنهم كانوا لا يرجون حسابا وكذبوا بآياتنا كذابا وكل شيء أحصيناه كتابا فذوقوا فلن نزيدكم إلا عذابا إن للمتقين مفازا حدائق وأعنابا وكواعب أترابا وكأسا دهاقا لا يسمعون فيها لغوا ولا كذابا جزاء من ربك عطاء حسابا رب السماوات والأرض وما بينهما الرحمن لا يملكون منه خطابا يوم يقوم الروح والملائكة صفا لا يتكلمون إلا من أذن له الرحمن وقال صوابا ذلك اليوم الحق فمن شاء اتخذ إلى ربه مآبا إنا أنذرناكم عذابا قريبا يوم ينظر المرء ما قدمت يداه ويقول الكافر يا ليتني كنت ترابا.
Again, mashallah, mashallah. So this is, so your name is Ayub, right? And your brother's name is Sufyan or Safwan? Sufyan, mashallah. So this is inspiration for us, mashallah. So especially, number one is to read Quran in that way, and one is to actually come up and read in front of everyone. So that's something which even a person who is very well learnt and can read well, to read in front of everyone is not as easy as well. So alhamdulillah, Allah got a lot of barakat inside of their life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it such that now there's lots of protection from the evil eye. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to use him and become both of them inshallah huffaz of the Quran and protectors of the Quran, lovers of the Quran as well. So alhamdulillah, this is motivation for us. This is really good that this is the month of the Quran. It's a month of forgiveness for us, and alhamdulillah, use this as motivation to try and for your children, for your other family members, and for yourself as well, inshallah, to try and enjoy the Quran, to try and read the Quran in a manner which is revealed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive us in this month of Ramadan, to make us and give the love of the Quran inside of our hearts. The love of the Quran inside of our hearts, Ya Allah. So this is something which is, again, something which is a wake-up call for all of us. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us from all the different evils outside. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to try and make us, give us the tawfiq to act upon every part of the Quran according to its rights and according to its haqq. And we want to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ya Allah, give us sincerity. Ya Allah, give us sincerity in every single action that we do, and accept all of our action, accept all of our ibadat, accept all of our fasting, our standing in the night time, all of our du'as. And this is a blessed night, the 27th night of Ramadan coming. So utilize your time wisely with your du'as, with your dhikr, with your Quran, with your salah, and especially ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness, because you don't want to leave Ramadan without being forgiven. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive all of our sins. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanallah wa bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Inshallah, if everyone can make their way to the back, to the tent, inshallah, to make it easier to try and set up for the iftar, inshallah. Subhanallah. Subhanallah.